You're on air with Douglas, where fans are connected to their favorite celebrities. And here are your hosts, Douglas and Rob.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday, February 1st. We're coming to you live at 10:30 p.m. on the East Coast, and we have a special show tonight. We have grown to love to hate her character, Miss Sheila Carter, on CBS's The Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful. We have Kimberlin Brown with us tonight. Welcome, Kimberlin.
Hey, thank you. I love that. How he goes, Good to be here.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for being here. Got so much to cover, during our time here to talk tonight. So I've been waiting a very long time to get you, and I'm so glad you had the time tonight to speak with us, and some fans, of course, are going to call in as well.
Great.
You've been in the soap world, almost 25 years now. Is that when you first? And I think it was in '87 when you started on Capitol.
Yeah, gosh. You're right. I started on Capitol ages ago, and actually I was on Santa Barbara before that, just briefly, just doing a couple of a day job, that kind of thing, and then I got Capitol 2 weeks before it was canceled.
Oh, goodness.
And then signed a contract at CBS in 1991.
Yeah.
Actually, it was 1990. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was because of your character, having that wonderful storyline where you Sheila dies in the fire and goes over to Bold and the Beautiful, where I became a fan of Bold and the Beautiful. And
exactly.
And I think a lot of people did that as well, because we were so emotionally wrapped up with that terror that Sheila had caused in Genoa City. We wanted to see where it was going to lead, and then Sheila left no stone unturned over there in Bold and the Beautiful as well.
Yes,
no,
I remember.
It
was when they had the crossover with Y&R and B&B in was it '92 or maybe '93 or '4, when you had to kind of watch both shows to know what was going on with the Lauren, Scott, and Sheila and Eric Forrester plot. That was really got me onto Bold and Beautiful.
Yeah, it was right around the '93, '94 era, and Bill Bell was just a genius. I mean, the man is brilliant, and I was originally brought on to Bold and Beautiful, and little known knowledge. I don't know if I've talked about it before. I must have, but I originally screen test for the part of Cassandra Rawlings on The Young and the Restless. If you guys remember that character.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, love that character.
I did not get the part. I didn't get the part. And I want to say 2 years later, I got a phone call at my house. I was just getting ready to actually give up on the acting, quite honestly. My agent, Vicki Light, at the time, had gotten ill, and the agents who took over for her at the time, who I won't name, but they know who they are, they just kind of, They didn't take care of all her clients that she had on the West Coast when she merged with those girls when she got ill. And I've decided, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to be the architect that I always wanted to be. And I got a call from Jill Newton, who was the head of casting at the time at Young and the Restless. And she said, Kimberlin, it's Jill. I said, hi. And she said, I have this part. Now, this is 2 years after I screen tested, and I didn't have a manager anymore. I didn't have an agent. I had nothing, but she had my home phone number. And she called and she said, I want you to come in for this part. And she says, I think you're perfect for it. It's only going to play for maybe a month, maybe 2 months at the most, but it's a really good part, and I really see you playing it. And that's how Sheila began. I went in, I did the reading, and I thought, well, this is great. This will pay for my schooling, and I went into the reading, and I had it so well memorized. And Ed Scott, who was the producer, said, you know what, Kimberlin, I want you to kind of play this very Kathy Bates Misery-ish, and Misery had come out, not long before that, and he said, I want you to be able to turn on a dime. I want a character that can look at you and smile smile at you, and then turn around and stab you in the back. And I went, oh, this is going to be so much fun. so I did the reading. I said thank you, and I got out to my car, and I realized that I had dropped probably 4 or 5 lines in the reading, and I was horrified. I went, oh my gosh! And I'm driving home, and Gail Camacho, who was Jill's assistant at the time, called me on my way home, and I said, gosh, I am so sorry. I can't believe I did this. I thought I was so well prepared, and I was so in the moment, and I completely dropped those lines, and I apologize. She let me apologize for about 20 minutes, and then told me I got the part.
Wow.
So it was just a great time. It was exciting, and to think that a casting director remembered me from an audition, 2 years prior, and I actually screen tested for Cassandra Rowling. So she remembered that screen test, remembered me, and because of her, I was brought in for that job. It was really special.
Well, I've heard with other Y&R actors, they originally tested for one part, and then a couple of years later, they got a call that they wanted them for another part. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And talk about being at the right place at the right time.
You know what? I was blessed. I really was. I got lucky.
Yeah.
I got lucky.
Now, you said that the role of Sheila was only going to be a short arc. How did it develop? Was it fan reaction, or did the people behind the scenes say, "Look, we hit a gold mine here with this actress," or what exactly made it to be a 20-year run?
You know what? I don't know. Obviously, I wish I could have asked Bill.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Yeah.
For one thing, the audience response was great. And I think when they saw, the numbers and things like that, when they were on my storyline, the ratings and such, Bill just went, okay, I think I need to take this farther. And not only that, but Bill was really hands-on. He would sit in his office and watch us while we were working. He had a direct feed from the stage. So if he liked what he saw, maybe I sparked something. Maybe I sparked something that made him take the character further than he had anticipated. And I'm glad. I'm glad that he did what he did, because I'll tell you what, she was so fun. She was so fun to play. You never knew what he was going to have her do next, and nothing was wrong. Nothing was wrong because of her character.
I remember reading, actually, I don't know if it was TV Guide or Soap Opera Digest or something, but back at around the time, maybe a little later, that, like you said, it was originally going to be a short-term character, and that the producers were just so, amazed with your talent, and then the fan popularity, that's why they kept you on. That's what I remember reading. So.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I just, I'm just, like I said, I'm very lucky that Bill did what he did, and he was so talented at storytelling.
Yeah. It's a big loss.
Storyteller, and he thought so far ahead. He didn't think of, week to week or month to month. He planned year to year. And it was brilliant. It was brilliant. He kept you hanging. Those Friday cliffhangers, it made you want to tune in on Monday. Am I right?
I know.
No,
yes,
definitely.
I miss those. They're starting to bring those back, I think, finally with the new regime, but it's taking a little while. But we have hopes.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the farmhouse and the whole crossover, we have a little audio clip for the fans.
Yes, we certainly do.
I can't get over this television set. I really can't. I think it is one of the most beautiful sets I've ever seen. And oh, how you have enjoyed it, haven't you, Mother dear? Well, wouldn't you know that it came from Lawrence?
That was the infamous scene where Sheila has got her mother and Lauren tied up in the farmhouse, and she points the gun and shoots the television. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I remember it. I remember it very well. I shot a cameraman first.
Yeah.
Tracy told us actually the funny story that she found out she was allergic to duct tape from doing that scene, and she went to the doctor, and they said, "Are you allergic to any kind of surgical tape?" And she said, "No, but I'm allergic to duct tape." And the nurse just looked at her like, "What?" And she said, "Don't ask." That was a great scene with Tracy.
Interesting trying to figure out how we were going to get the duct tape to stick to her mouth was pretty interesting, but they managed. But that was fun. That would be, those are fun
now,
times.
That is,
like I said,
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that I still have VHS tape. Back when this was on, I was a senior in high school, and I videotaped every scene for those that few months about the before Bold and the Beautiful, and then after you crossed over. And I used to watch that over and over because that was like the most iconic story of the time, and it was so amazingly well done because we thought, oh no, she's going to die. We don't want Sheila dead, and in daytime nobody dies. They pop up somewhere, and I love the actress that played Molly, your mother. She was just fantastic.
Marilyn Allen.
She is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And Marilyn, she we stayed in touch for quite some time, even after that. But she made it easy. She made it so easy, and was so in the moment with everything, and it couldn't be that easy to act, I would think, when you have to act opposite somebody who's playing your daughter, doing the things that she's doing to you.
Yeah.
So
and she had the stroke, and she couldn't
really
even speak. She did a lot of it without speaking, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'll never forget.
Exactly.
She used to say, she would just for weeks she's trying to tell everybody about you, and I mean she was just phenomenal. She deserved an award for that role that she played, and it's a lot of fun. And then you went over to cross the pond per se, and you joined Bold and the Beautiful. Now, was that premeditated for you to be going over there? Was that part of the whole plan at that time in the writing?
No, it wasn't. It's kind of like you just said a minute ago, how you thought Sheila was going to die and you were upset. You didn't want to see her go. Well, I was on the set of Young and the Restless, and I got a phone call in the booth from Bill Bell, and that normally wasn't a good thing.
Yeah.
And I went into the sound booth. They said that he wants to talk to you in the sound booth. So I went into the sound booth, so it was very private. And he said, Kimberlin, he said, I have two ways I can go with Sheila. She's done so many horrible things. I have to get rid of her. She can't stay on Young and the Restless. I have to either put her in prison or I have to kill my character, which I don't want to do. He said, however, what if Sheila moved to Los Angeles? And I'm on the other end of the line. I said, uh-huh. He said, well, The Bold and the Beautiful is in Los Angeles. I said, uh-huh. And he said, well, what if Sheila went to The Bold and the Beautiful and wreaked havoc in L.A.? And I said, you know what, Bill? It sounds great to me. And I love you, and I'd be happy to. I'd be honored to.
Yeah.
And the one thing about me as a person, he could trust me with his secrets. Mm-hmm. I was sworn to secrecy more than one time as to storyline and what was coming up, and with the crossover. He said the only way this is going to work is if nobody really knows about it until the week of. Mm-hmm. And we managed to keep that a secret for almost 3 months.
Wow.
So, yeah, we did a really, really good job.
Yeah.
And that's how my character ended up going to The Bold and the Beautiful. He didn't want to kill my character off.
Yeah.
It was an honor to me. So he didn't want to kill my character off. And if you think about it, the numbers on Young and the Restless, they were always number one back then at that time, even before I was on the show. But their percentage points were really, really high with my storyline. So the people that were watching me on Young and the Restless, who had never, ever even watched Bold and the Beautiful, ever, followed Sheila and to the Bold and the Beautiful.
We're two of those people who had never watched that Bold and Beautiful that followed Sheila. Definitely.
Well, there you go. There you go. Within 2 weeks' time of the show starting to air on the Bold and the Beautiful, he had the number 1 and the number 2 show in all of daytime.
Oh, I had all my friends watching too. It was funny. I remember, I had my guy friends who wouldn't admit to anybody else that we're all watching. We're all taping the Bold and the Beautiful while we're at school. We're setting our VCRs and then watching it together.
Yeah. Well, to all the men that are out there listening tonight, we've had so many athletes come to the studio to see behind the scenes, and Cal Ripken came, and he just wanted to see myself and Jill from The Young and the Restless, because he said, "Oh, you girls are just my favorite characters, the bad girls." And then Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan, I mean, they all would watch the show. When I was pregnant with my son, I had these athletes sending me autographed, basketballs and things like that for my son. It was just they planned their workout schedules around the shows that they like, so you weren't alone.
Yeah. Now, also infamous for that time period, which you don't see very much anymore, are the cat fights. And your character and Lauren had some of the best cat fights in daytime history. I mean, it takes you back to the Dynasty days, when they would throw each other in the pond. One of the ones that most stands out is the one in the laboratory that with Lauren and Sheila, and you guys just tore each other up. It was the best. And then you said something along the lines of, "I don't care about your dead baby," and oh my gosh, you with the way that Sheila arched her eye and the tone and the voice, it was like I said at the beginning, we love to hate you, and you were the most hated character, but most beloved as well.
Yeah. Well, that whole storyline was so interesting, though, because she didn't want anything to do with Scott until I came into the picture. If you remember how horrible she was to him, to Peter's character, and then Dr. Granger, and I remember that. Saying that line even. I don't care about your dead baby, and then her just going off on me. And that was one of the best fights. And I'll tell you what, they set up the neatest the neatest set for all of that, because all of that stuff had to be breakaway because we were falling into it, and it was time consuming. It really was to set everything up in the lab, and it was it was a lot of us. The physicality. I mean, they bring in stunt people, and then they'll put you in, to places for close-ups and such. But the camera couldn't work in certain situations. They couldn't hide the fact if there was no cut point to put in stunt people. So stunt people were instructing Tracy and I as to what we would do. So they would basically come in and show us what we were supposed to do, and then we would do it. And it was intense. I mean, we were thrown over counters and all the rest. But you know what? The fights that Tracy and I had, that Lauren and Sheila had, they were so much fun.
Yeah.
Tracy and I, we would love it. We would love it when we would get a script like that, because we knew it was just going to be an exciting day. And we had a trust with one another. I mean, she knew I was never going to hurt her. And she's so petite. She's so much smaller than me that, a lot of the times in the scenes where it looks like, I'm throwing her here or there or whatever, I'm holding on to her and doing the motions, but I'm holding on to her so that she doesn't fall and she doesn't hurt herself. It was it was fun. It was an exciting time. But you're right, they don't do as many fights like that anymore, do they?
No, they don't. I miss them, and thank God for YouTube to be able to go back and watch all of the greatest. YouTube has saved us because since Sheila's we'll get to the current where Sheila's at, but since Sheila's not around, it's great to be able to go back and watch these amazing clips that people have uploaded over the years, and it's your character is history for daytime legendary history for always. People always know Sheila Carter, and in the future episode or in the future shows when you went to go work on the other soaps like All My Children and One Life to Live, it was so hard to watch you in those roles as a judge because you're Sheila Carter to me, and I was like, why is she on All My Children? I don't want her there. But we'll get to that in a minute. But the best part with the crossover from Young and the Restless, The Bold and Beautiful for me and for a lot of fans was the puzzle pieces that you
Brad and Lauren.
Of Brad and Lauren, and you sent pieces to her, so you'd have to watch Bold and Beautiful, and then then go over to Young and the Restless and see Lauren getting the puzzle pieces slowly, putting the pieces together until the final reveal that Sheila was alive after all, and that was
you could kind of get the story by watching one or the other, but really, if you were a really huge fan, you had to watch both, which is what pulled me into Bold and Beautiful. It was like an hour and a half of like my favorite storyline, which is really cool.
Yeah, that whole thing was great.
Yeah,
it was. It was just. It was a different time, though. It really was. It was exciting. It was fun. It was energized. Everything was so energized. Everybody on set. It's like when we would get these scripts come down. When they would come down from upstairs, and everybody was excited when we had those kinds of days to work on because you knew it was going to be suspenseful. You knew that the audience was going to be watching, and we did. I mean, Bill, like I said, I keep going back to him. He was brilliant. He hooked the audience. He really hooked them hard. And,
We had one of your former, we've had a lot of your former castmates on the show, but just most recently we had Ian Buchanan on the show, and we talked about the scene, and I'm going to play an audio clip from the scene with you and Sheila and James in the dungeon.
Okay.
Kidnapping is a crime. You cannot just hold me hostage here.
Isn't that what you did to me? Dragging out my therapy, intimidating me, threatening to expose my secrets. You were supposed to be saving my marriage. You let me down. You betrayed me. Now the tables are turned. Your life depends on me.
And you see how self-destructive this is? You have absolutely nothing to gain by keeping
Why don't
me here.
you save your psycho crap? Because I am not your patient.
You're sick. You're a very sick woman. You need help.
Oh, and you're going to do... Are you going to do that for me? I'm in charge here.
That time period was a lot of fun because of the Psycho house that was utilized as well.
Yeah.
So tell us about that time period.
Listening to these clips, it's bringing back such great memories. I'll tell you, I've got a big smile on my face.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, this is great.
What was it like working with Ian?
Ian was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
He's a great guy.
So incredibly talented. Yeah. So incredibly talented. There was a time with the whole Psycho house and all of that, I was actually pregnant with my son at the time, and you remember the wedding, and he was wearing the kilt and all of that.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. It was such a great time. Oh, I'm so glad you guys have these clips to listen to. It's great.
Now, there was another, I got a couple more clips just because there's a lot of fans that miss you, and we're just playing some of our favorites. Another one is where Sheila is at a party, and she's got everybody together on Bold and the Beautiful, and this is your intro, Sheila's intro.
You all look so surprised. I don't understand. The only reason you're here is because I invited you. So, of course, I would come. Oh, wait, you're wondering about all the police outside. How in the world did I ever get past all of them? Lauren, you of all people should know that the police wouldn't stop me. They never have before now, have they? So, here we are. Everyone that I have ever loved and cared for and hated, all in the same room together. Did you bring gifts? I did. I brought something special for each and every one of you.
That was a brilliant scene, and we have a follow-up clip in a minute from that as well. When you hear that clip, what do you think about? Because that was a scene where like the whole cast was in the Forrester Mansion.
I think they were all there. I think I was wearing that blue dress, if I recall correctly.
Yep, you were.
Was I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wearing like a light blue. Yeah, I remember that, and I remember them all staring at me.
Mm-hmm.
Just staring at my character. It was that was just, my God. I mean, I keep repeating myself. Oh, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. But we really had a good time. We really had a good time. When you get the opportunity to do something other than the norm, and the whole cast knew that when it was something like that and my character was involved, it wasn't going to be the same thing every day, and it was a great time. But you playing that, I can see myself in it. I can see the hairdo, I can see everything.
Your hair was done differently than usual in that scene. I think it was.
Yes, it was. Yeah, they were trying to do me up for the party.
Yeah.
And then the gun.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yes, the gun you're holding at everybody. Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
I remember the gun. And
now was that the scene or the time that you shot that Sheila shot Taylor?
No.
Was that it, or was that a different time? I can't remember. You caused so much havoc, I can't keep track. But
I think that is the time I shoot Taylor.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, and then she came back anyways. See, no one dies.
She did,
so Sheila's still alive. Yeah, she died on screen. I mean, so many other characters have,
Yeah.
Right.
We can get to the whole Sheila thing later, I guess.
And then this last clip that we have is that follows along the same scene.
Yeah. Here we go.
Okay.
Sheila is a lot of things, but the last thing that she is stupid. It's almost as if she's...
Almost as if she's what, Lauren?
Oh, I knew you were here. I knew it.
But you're all going down with me. So get ready, friends. Today you're gonna die.
Oh, good times.
Great.
And you sound so nice in person, too. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, God, if I were anything like my character, I'd be in jail, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Any normal.
Or maybe I'd just be missing. Who knows?
Right.
Exactly.
You're just appearing in different states,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Different faces.
I love the music, though. The music.
Oh, I know.
The music is so great.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. That's a good point. I mean, the music is different on both shows now. And
Is
a bunch of people.
Is Jack Alacco still doing the music? Do you know?
I don't know, because the music, especially when Y&R with the regime change, the music is really different, and it really does not create the mood like it used to. And B&B, I haven't noticed music like that in a long time either. So I'm pretty sure it's someone different because it really does make a difference, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I think it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does. And there's and literally, I've been watching Young and the Restless. I'm 39. I've been watching at least 30 years, and then also since '92 or whenever it was when Sheila crossed over. I've been watching them ever since there. And there hasn't been since Sheila that kind of suspense music or storytelling. As a matter of fact, I mean they've had lots of different crazies come and go, but no one with the depth and character development as Sheila was. So when Sheila left Bold and the Beautiful, then she returned to Young and the Restless in 2005.
Right.
How did that come back? How did that come to be, that you come back to Young and the Restless 10 years after you hadn't been in Genoa City?
Right. That was just, it was another phone call from upstairs saying this is what we want to do. We want to cross you back over and get you involved again with Lauren and see what happens and see where this goes and it it was very, very lucky because with my storyline and everything that was going on, all the crossovers really worked.
Yeah.
And it was the first time actually. Bill's crossover, when he took me from Young and the Restless to Bold and the Beautiful, it was the first successful crossover in the history of daytime.
Yeah.
So it, like I said, it just worked. Everything just worked. It was.
That's actually what brought me.
Brilliantly planned.
I'd stopped watching YNR for a little while, and it was you coming back that brought me back as a viewer, and ever since 2005, I haven't missed an episode, but it was that storyline that made me start watching again.
And what was so intriguing about?
I did.
Oh,
exactly.
I
did my job. It was all good.
And when Sheila came back in 2005, it was exciting because you were playing Brenda Harris, a student of Scotty, whom you kidnapped, years and years ago. So this storyline was really exciting because it's like, oh my God, Sheila is right there studying with the boys she kidnapped so many years ago. And
that wig and those false teeth fooled everybody.
Oh yes, when she played Jennifer, when you played Jennifer working at the athletic club, that was when you were. You were Sheila was poisoning Lauren's necklace and making her hallucinations and stuff.
I remember the blonde wig.
Yeah.
Now,
now Tom Fisher. Now I'm sure you've heard that they created this whole other backstory with that. So Sheila and Tom Fisher actually had known each other before. In fact, in the biblical sense, where they had a whole family together. And from what I
no, I didn't know this.
No, okay. Well, Sheila has 2 children by Tom Fisher, Daisy and Ryder, who are fraternal twins.
Okay.
And I guess she and Tom Fisher he was a bigamist. He was still married to Gloria, but yet he had another family with Sheila. So when they ran into each other in Genoa City, they pretended not to know each other, but they really did. And so when they were colluding, it was due to their past or relationship or whatever. And
so it was game playing. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I guess that's
my relationship with him. It went way back. It was game playing.
Yes, you have 2 20-something-year-old children with Tom Fisher because of the Soros, the Soros factor.
And you also have Sheila also has Mary and Diane over in Bold and the Beautiful, which they never mentioned on Young and the Restless at all.
Exactly. I was thinking that Daisy would end up being Mary or something. That would have made more sense. But and there's Sheila's sister Sarah. Tracy played a dual role a couple of years, 2 or 3 years ago. Sarah Smythe was Sheila's sister, who was also a nurse, and she had plastic surgery to look like Lauren. We'd never heard of her.
Also, Phyllis played my part too.
That's exactly. Now we have a theory. People will not accept the fact that when they did the DNA test, when Fila, as we call her, was shot by Lauren, the DNA test confirmed that it was Sheila. However, that same year, this same lab, that they made mistakes with 3 other DNA tests. So Sheila could easily have been hiding and lurking in the background and rigged the DNA test tamper. She's been known to tamper with, tests before, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
she's spun a few vials in her day.
Exactly. We're not accepting that was Sheila. That was Sugar, her cellmate, who she had given all of her memories to.
Exactly.
And she was pulling the puppet strings from behind the scenes. And most recently, now this is right before the regime change with the writers on Y&R. It was appearing as if they were gearing up to bring you back.
Right.
With Daisy, Sheila's daughter, was in a mental hospital, and she was signed out by Sheila Carter, her mother. And then when Lauren and Michael watched the security footage, it showed a woman wearing a coat, and you only saw her from the back, but she had long dark hair. It could have been you. And then we heard nothing about it. So, but most fans refuse to believe that Sheila's dead.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, she never died while I was playing her.
Right.
That I can tell you.
Yeah.
I really don't know what they have planned. I was under the impression that I was going to be brought back, but that was some time ago. That was when Tracy played.
That was when Maria Rena Bell was still executive producer. That was the rumor as to what was going to happen, and then when Jill Perrin-Phillips took over, I guess they dropped a lot of storylines. So, but we're still hoping that right now, perfect timing for Sheila to show back up on The Bold and the Beautiful, with Stephanie's dead and everything. It would be a great time for Sheila to start wreaking havoc on people there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one fewer enemy down. Her one formidable enemy gone. It's
because Eric is all alone now that Stephanie's gone, so you could come back with those false teeth and
and a wig,
Yeah, there you go. They could come up with something. Exactly. Now, the thing is it's really hard once Maria started altering my appearance. It changed everything. It really did. And I got a wonderful phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a wonderful phone call from I'm having a blank right now. Michelle. And she said, Kimberly, they've asked me to play your part, and I couldn't go back to work at the time because I had that car accident in Las Vegas.
Right.
And I understood completely.
Right.
But
that's the reason they didn't have you come back, right? They wanted you, didn't they, at that time?
Well, that's what I'd like to think. Yeah, I was supposed to go back to work that November. And then everything just changed. Everything.
Yeah.
I got the call from her going, "Are you okay with this?" I've been studying footage of how you play the character and everything else, and
she really did do
happy.
She had your mannerisms down as well as anyone could, but it was still not the same. Yeah.
Well, it's not the same because when I act, when I was playing Sheila, I don't go up on lines, and my character was never bitchy. My character was just, evil. When she wasn't, but yet everyone still loved her because she was so misunderstood, and all she really wanted ever was to be loved.
Yeah.
She didn't know how to go about it, and I tried to watch a bit when Michelle was playing my part, and I don't know that I could have stepped into anybody else's shoes to do it either. I mean, she did brilliantly at it, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. Your fans weren't too pleased with it. Honestly.
Well, the storyline, it didn't last very long.
No, it was.
Yeah, they cut that whole storyline short.
And I don't think Tracy was too thrilled with the whole Sarah Smythe thing either.
Yeah. Well, I was actually Tracy because I was under the impression I was going back at that time. And Tracy called me. She was all excited. Oh, my God, you're coming back, and this is going to be so great. And I thought, this is going to be wonderful. And they called my manager, and and can she start in a couple of weeks? And then we never heard anything. And I called my manager and said, hey, maybe we should call them back and see what's going on. And he did. He called back. He said, you're not going to believe what they did again. And that's when I decided to have Lauren play my part then. So,
yeah, it was weird. I mean, Tracy didn't. I asked her about the Sarah Smythe line, and she was even saying like she wasn't allowed to watch her dailies so she had no idea what she was doing really as Sarah Smythe, and it was sort of frustrating for her, and it didn't seem like she enjoyed it all that much. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, fans are going to.
I think she was excited. She was excited about the possibility of the two of us getting back together.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think she was.
When we are together, it's like fireworks, and it works. It really works, and we don't have to try to make it work. It just works. It's just it's a great marriage of characters together, and you never know. Maybe one of these days.
Well, certainly they use a shot in the arm for the ratings, and I mean you could do that with both shows. I think like I said, I think on B&B right now there's so much room for you to just come in there and just wreak havoc with Stephanie gone. Unfortunately, we can't see you and Susan Flannery have any interaction anymore, but you have definitely Sheila has a lot of enemies left on The Bold and the Beautiful for sure. Pretty much everybody, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And I must tell you that
crossover between the two. I was thinking it would be great to have a crossover between the two shows, and then have you go on B&B for a while or something really, really cool.
Yeah, there's the possibilities are endless as long as the people at the powers that be listen to the fans, and they do listen. But I just wanted to give credit to Tracy. She's in the middle of a front burner storyline, and she hasn't had one that hadn't dealt with the Carter family, because your family grew when you weren't there, and she's doing a family storyline with her son Finn. Her son Finn has now been aged, and he's like a troublesome teenager, and they've taken in a child into the house, and trying to protect him and stuff. So I mean, she's really showing her true acting chops right now, and they're doing an outstanding job with that right now.
Oh, that's great. You know what? I wouldn't expect anything less from Tracy. I really wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, it's really nice to see her in a story. I mean, obviously we love the Lauren and Sheila stories, but it's been so many years since she's had a storyline that didn't have anything to do with the Carter, So, I mean, that's really cool for her.
Yeah, and she's in the opening credits now. The fans spoke up, and she's in the opening credits, so that was a big plus.
Well, good. That's excellent. That's fantastic.
Well, moving past daytime, Rob and I were able to get an advanced screening of your short film, The Necklace, and I must say, bravo. It was a great 6-minute film, and what was it like being part of that?
You know what? It was nice. It was a lot of fun. It was it was neat to have something to do. It came when I first started auditioning again after my surgeries from my car accident. And when you work as hard as you do to create something so special like I had in daytime, and then to be out of it for as long as I was because of surgeries, it was nice that when I was able to start auditioning, I had people still interested in me. And Mary Lee Herman, she called and asked if I'd be interested in this part. And, she sent me the script. I looked at the script first, and I thought, you know what, this is something kind of special. This is, it's a sweet story. It's a neat story, and people. I mean, I don't know how much of the movie I can give away, but people do stuff like that all the time.
Yeah. It was amazing how
films, I'm talking about.
It was just so packed. Like just that 5 or 6 minutes was so full. You know what I mean?
Mary Lee. She really, besides having a handle on everything, she was very hands-on with everything, from lighting to blocking to camera angles to performance. I mean, to catering. I mean, she was so hands-on with everything. You could tell just how much she loved what she was doing, and because of all of her energy, it just, it flowed over onto the crew and to the actors, and it was a really great little film. I mean, it was small, like you said, but it was really wonderful to do, and she's got some other projects that are coming up that she's working on that I'm excited about. I mean, she's already told me that there's a feature that she's interested in, that there's a part in there for me, and so I'm very intrigued and very excited about the possibility of working with her again, because she was brilliant to work for.
Yes,
she really was.
She's a great lady. She's the one who helped get us together tonight. Also, tell us a little bit about 5 Hour Friends, your new feature film.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that was a fun shoot. It's a golf movie, 5 Hour Friends. It's friends that stay together on that one. I can talk about and tell you about, but it's it's 5 Hour Friends because it's generally most people spend that much time playing a round of golf with a foursome, and it was with Tom Sizemore. I play opposite Tom Sizemore, and it was crazy. It was crazy. It was fast paced. The producer, director are phenomenal guys. They're from San Diego, Ron and Theo, and they're winning all kinds of awards already for the film. It hasn't come out yet. They have a distribution company, and they're very excited about it, the distribution company. And the distribution company is even interested in helping fund the next project, which the producer has already offered me. So I'm thrilled about that.
Wonderful.
So it's neat. I've got some things coming up. I really do. And the thing about 5 Hour Friends is, for my Sheila fans, they're going to see glimpses of Sheila in this movie.
Neat.
Yeah, obviously I'm not playing Sheila. But Carla, the character that I'm playing, she's got some issues. She's got some issues. In the film, Tom Sizemore's character has issues, and basically he's kind of met. He's not a really good person in the film, and he falls in love with somebody who's pretty much like him, and it's interesting. It's interesting to see where
definitely
it goes.
I can't wait till that's released so we can see that, because it's nice to see you.
Yeah, but you're talking about soap fans and the power of the medium that I worked in, and Ron called me just the other night. He was amazed because it's going to be at the Berlin Film Festival coming up, and he said, Kimberlin, my fiance is looking at everything on YouTube in regards to the upcoming film festival in Berlin, and he said, I had no idea how popular you were in Europe, because over 50% of the responses coming in is Kimberlin going to be attending the film festival? And that comes from the international side of The Young and the Restless and the Bold and Beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting, and there's some really good scenes in that film. And working with Tom, he's such a talented actor. He's an incredibly talented man. He's deep, very, very deep, and with all of the things that went on in his life up to that point. I mean, he's very open about everything with his rehab and the trouble that he had gotten into and his life, and it was just it was an interesting project. It was just a lot of fun. Got to play golf, got to be outside. It was wonderful. It was a great crew, really great crew.
Now, I was looking through your filmography. And when I look at all the different soaps you've been on, you have a lot of shorter roles on different soaps, and all of them are pretty much nurse or doctor related, and one judge. Do they look at you and just say, she looks like a doctor?
I don't know. You know what? I thought about that once before. I'm going, gosh, everything I played except for the judge.
Exactly.
I've been in the medical field or research field or something like that. I have no idea. Maybe I just look like I can help people.
Yes.
or tamper with test results.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's true.
Now, fans of the web series The Bay were very happy to see you when that debuted and you played Dr. Grace Drum. Are you in the new season that they're developing, or developed?
I believe I am. Yes. As a matter of
Cool.
fact, I just got a text yesterday from Gregory Martin, and I did ask him. I said he was inviting me to a wrap party in Hollywood, and I told him, no, I can't. I'm skiing right now with my son up in Mammoth. But I asked him. I said, well, where are we at? How are we on the script? Are we getting ready to shoot? And he said, yes, we're getting very, very close. So
that's great.
I can tell you that the cold read that we did a big reading. All of the cast. We were all in one room up in LA, and we were reading the new season out loud. He wanted a cold read done. And it was after that cold read that he decided that he wanted to take it to another level based on some things that he had seen in that reading, which had him revamping the entire season.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he said he was very honest with all of us. He said, there are some people that I'm gonna be changing things around. And quite honestly, I need to know how many of you are interested in actually coming back for the season after the cold read. And I told him I was definitely interested, because with what I read for my character in the new season, it's phenomenal. And
wow.
Mary Beth Evans and I, we take it on. And it's
wow. That is amazing. I cannot wait.
It's going to be awesome, and I am so excited. I have always been a fan of Mary Beth, always.
Yeah.
And the stuff that I read, that if the script hasn't changed too terribly much, it's going to be great.
Yeah. Well, that is great. I mean, the more Kimberlin Brown, the more us fans are happy.
Well, speaking of fans and Kimberlin Brown, we have a ton of people who are waiting to speak to you.
Yep. So first up, we have Anthony. Anthony, you're on with Kimberlin. Go ahead.
Hi. Excuse me. Hi, Doug. Hi, Rob.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing very, very good. I'm so excited to be talking to you. I've been a huge fan of yours ever since The Young and the Restless. I remember being in 8th grade and just, running home every day just to see scenes of, of your work. I've known you over the years when you were on the show, and you always wrote back to me, and I just wanted to thank you for, for always responding back. I did want to just ask a quick question about your work on The Bold and the Beautiful. What was it like working with Barbara Crampton and Ken Hayes? I always loved the scenes of you and Barbara as Maggie, and I love the scene in particular when you have a fight and you end up falling on a fireplace poker. I thought that was an interesting twist in the story, and I just wanted your take on that.
You know what? Barbara Crampton and Ken Hayes are wonderful. I mean, obviously I work more with Ken than with Barbara, but the time that I did work with Barbara, because I knew her. I knew her from Young and the Restless, and watched all her other storylines with other people. The thing about Sheila is I was very limited to the group of actors that I worked with, where people like Barbara, got to work, a little bit with everybody. so when I got to work with her, I was excited to, be part of that group as well. And she's a wonderful gal, absolutely wonderful. We had some nice conversations. Our dressing room, we get together and we would run lines, and just fun to work with, really fun to work with. And then Kenny and I adore him. I love him. And, with whatever he's doing today, he still sends Christmas cards to my mom and dad. It's just, he's amazing. And we had so much fun working together, and it was so hard sometimes to keep a straight face because, he was the one that would open the door and hit himself in the face and, go to lean on the table and slide off. He made it so much fun to work with, and we had a great relationship outside of work as well. We'd hang out, and his wife Mary is wonderful, and I can't say enough about both of them, quite honestly.
Well, I just wanted to thank you for all your years of, acting that you've brought to the fans of the show. And I'm definitely looking forward to, your new projects and 5 Hour Friends and hearing about, the festivals and, the awards out in California that it's won already. I see it on Facebook, Facebook there. So I'm really definitely excited about that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's winning awards. It's a good thing, huh?
Yeah.
And I'll let the other callers, talk to you, but thank you for taking my call.
No, thank you so much, really.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Let me play my promo real quick, and then we'll get right back to the calls.
For all the latest entertainment news, show schedule, and archive shows, check out onairwithdouglas.com. And would you like to be a guest co-host with Douglas? Just help book a guest, and you can spend the hour with the guest. Contact onairwithdouglas@gmail.com for more. Today's show is sponsored by soapstyle.com, where you can get all the latest fashion trends from daytimes to bold and the beautiful. For more information, go to soapstyle.com. Now, back to the show.
All right, now we have Tracy. Tracy's a huge fan. She about blew up Twitter when I told her that you were coming on. So, Tracy, you are on.
Oh, yes. Thanks for the retweet.
Hello, how are you, Kimberlin?
Hey, Tracy, I'm well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm just overjoyed. I'm very excited to be speaking with you right now because you're a freaking legend. I don't know if you realize that or not, but you are. The shows really have not been the same since you've been gone. They really haven't. There hasn't been a villainess like you ever, period. You embodied the role of Sheila Carter. It was brilliant. My favorite line from you ever is when you were in the wedding dress and Lauren came to confront you and you said, "B, I'll snap you like a twig." And the way you said it through your teeth. That has to be hands down the best line Sheila has ever said to anyone, period. And I loved it. Did you improv that or was that scripted?
Boy, you know what? I think I came up with that one, quite honestly.
Oh, my God. Genius.
Yeah. I was really lucky because Ed Scott really allowed me to kind of take my character and go in directions when I would, because sometimes I would just feel things. I would say, Ed, I got to try this. I've got to try this, and he would say, okay, go, do it, and a lot of little things came out of stuff like that. But first off, I just want to thank you so much for all of those wonderful words and compliments, because when you work so hard and you do what you do, and it makes people like you and the other callers as happy as I have, it's wonderful to hear. It really is, because I don't hear that every day. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and it's just lovely to hear. Thank you.
You are very, 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 very much missed. I really wish that there's some way you can come back to either one of the shows. I mean, anything. But a question that I had for you was, how do you feel about the way they kind of wrote you out and they had Michelle Stafford, who's also brilliant, kind of take over your role? What were your thoughts of that? Because me personally, I thought that really no one could ever tackle Sheila but Kimberlin Brown. So I kind of thought it was a slap in the face, but Michelle did it justice, but it's not Kimberlin Brown. What were your thoughts on that? Or did you watch it?
Well, you know what? I watched the first show, and then I just couldn't really watch it again because for me personally, I was watching it going, that's not Sheila.
Exactly.
And, you know, when I first heard that somebody else was going to be playing my part, I mean, originally, you know, your first instinct is, well, why? What did I do? And this, that, and the other. And I realized, you know, after that accident, I just wasn't physically able to do what my character always did. You know, all the cat fights and all of that, because I had 3 surgeries that I had coming up. So it's strange how one thing that can happen in your life can change your life completely, and you have no control over it. And the studio had no control over it. I mean, they had a storyline that they had planned, and, you know, they chose to go forward with it and have somebody else play my part. So, I wish it were me. There's no doubt about it.
Me too.
Are
you feeling better?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm 100%. I mean,
really?
You know, it's I'm fine. I'm fine now. I'm starting to audition, and I'm back out there and finishing the movie, you know, with 5 Hour Friends, and I'm doing good. I'm skiing right now, so my legs don't hurt anymore. I'm doing really well. Thank you.
Did you have any back surgery?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you have any back surgeries?
No, my back was fine. It was all my legs and my arms.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm happy that you're well. I'm happy that you're doing great. I am following you on Twitter, but since you are available, and maybe I might be able to blow up the B&B pages or something to start recruiting Sheila to get back on the show.
We're going to start the campaign. This is our kickoff to the campaign.
Yes.
But I need to tweet again. You know, I got
people
Twitter,
are asking. People ask for you all the time.
Yeah,
actually.
I got onto Twitter and I was like red hot for like it was so much fun the first like few months, and then I got that movie and it made it hard for me to tweet, and then after I got off the tweeting for a while, it was kind of like, oh gosh, I've got this to do, I've got that to do, and I do need to get back out there again.
Well, we kicked off a campaign to bring back Brenda Epperson as Ashley Abbott because Eileen Davidson is now on Days of Our Lives. And we're getting responses from the powers that be. They're listening, so we're hopeful. There's some signs that it might be working. So they do.
Thank you, Kimberlin. Kimberlin, thank you so much for taking my call. I don't want to hold up anyone else.
Thank you.
No problem. It's a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you, Tracy.
I'll tell you what. It's just wonderful hearing everything that you had to say, and it's much, much appreciated. Thank you.
No problem. I only speak the truth.
Bye-bye, Tracy. Talk to you on Twitter.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Up next is Craig. Craig, go ahead. You're on with Kimberlin.
Hey, Kimberlin. How are you tonight?
Hey, Craig. I'm well. How are you?
Good. I got to speak to you last time you were on, I think, Olivia Wild. Is it Wild show? I think you had called
Olivia,
in, and I got the opportunity.
You
recognize my voice?
Your accent right now.
You do, yeah. Well, I will tell you, just like the girl Tracy just called, that I will say ditto to what she said, because I've been following you since you first appeared on Young and the Restless, and when you left that show and went to Bold and the Beautiful, that's when I started watching Bold and the Beautiful too. And, of course, since you're no longer on those shows, I do watch it, but I'm not into it like I used to because with the new writing team, to me it's very boring, and I don't see any type of shows, and they bring in new people, and they're forgetting all the old members and things like that. So I'm kind of torn away from it now, so I really would love to see you come back, of course. There was a time when you left and you went to Port Charles, so I followed you there, and you were Rachel Locke, so you played that part well too, and I loved you with that too. So,
thank you.
But anyway, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, and I am still trying to get you back on these shows with campaigning with Twitter and sending tweets as much as I can, and getting all our friends in our group page dedicated to you to do that as well. So. We just want you to know we miss you, and we hope to see you soon.
Well, I'll tell you what, it'd be an honor to go back and play Sheila for all of you. It really would. And
because
every time I think about it, it just makes me smile. It's just like, you know what? I love Sheila. What can I say?
Yeah, I used to work. I worked at a job, and we would go in the kitchen and watch the soaps, and everybody knew I loved your role, of course, so if they would say anything negative, I had to get on them. So it was like a little joke in the office. So they wouldn't mess with me with Sheila. So, and that's how it still is today. But anyway, I just want you to know we appreciate you taking the time again to speak to your fans that still love you and miss you, and I'm glad to hear you're doing well, and I thank you for taking my call.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, thank you, Doug.
You're welcome. Thanks, Greg.
Right.
Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. We just got a few more calls, and then we'll wrap up. Chris, you are next. Go ahead.
Hi, Kimberlin. How are you doing?
Hey, Chris. Well, and you?
I'm doing great. And hello, boys. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Very well.
Kimberlin, you created one of my all-time favorite characters on Young and the Restless. That scene of you switching the babies has to be, in my opinion, one of the most standout moments in daytime television. A little bit about your character. Sheila was just a bad character, but you played her in such a way that she had longevity. Whose decision was it to sort of play Sheila as this? You played her with just the right enough camp. Was that your decision to play her that way, or was that something you collaborated on with the producers?
No, you know what? I really had, from the moment I auditioned for the part of Sheila, I just took that note that Ed Scott had given me as far as being very captivated, like in Misery, where you could smile to somebody one minute and then turn around and kill them the next. And when I started playing my character, I realized that there's really no wrong. There's really no wrong in anything that Sheila does, because Sheila's not normal.
Right.
In an everyday sort of sense. So I did all of that. I did all of that. I created a kind of a backstory in my own mind as to why my character ended up the way she ended up, because I had to make it honest for me, Kimberlin, as an actress, to make my character seem believable and honest with the things that she was doing on the show. So no, those were all my nuances, and I never really had Bill call me and tell me how to play my part ever.
Oh, that's wonderful.
No,
I just think you just created, you just created such a great character. I mean, they don't make characters like that in daytime anymore. There's not that, I don't think, commitment to developing those kind of characters anymore, unfortunately. When you were sent over to Bold and the Beautiful, you really infused, you gave that show, you introduced that show to a whole new audience. It was the first time I remember that show shot to number 2 in the ratings. How did that feel as an actress to know that your character was instrumental in that role for that show?
Oh, It made me feel wonderful. Are you kidding? When we started airing and the ratings went up, the Bells had a party on set to celebrate, and Mr. and Mrs. Bell were very congratulatory and very appreciative to myself and for the work that I had done and to Tracy, and because we really did. We brought over an entire viewing audience to a new show, and a lot of them stuck, and once again it comes back down to business, but Bill was just brilliant in even thinking to do that. A lot of other shows tried it afterwards, but what it did for the ratings on Bold and the Beautiful was fantastic, and to think that I personally had a part in making that happen, it's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling, and I will never forget, cutting the cake on the stage and having Bill and Lee, congratulate me, and that was a huge time because we didn't know if it was going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And that phone call I got from Bill, what do you think? What do you think? And I said, I think it's good. Let's do it. And we made it happen. We really did. But as far as the character and the nuances, he gave me so much to work with. He gave me material that other actors on other shows, I'm sure, were just wishing that they had to work with.
Yeah.
I was very blessed that way. I mean, he gave me the opportunity to be dark. He gave me the opportunity to be happy, to be in love, to be disturbed. I mean, he really challenged me. He challenged my character, and I'm lucky. It's like, wow, I'd get my scripts, and it was like, oh, this is so great. But I would never read ahead. A lot of actors, they get their scripts for the week, and they read their scripts for the week. For me, I didn't want to know what was going to happen on Friday or Monday, because I didn't want anything to change my performance. If I knew what was happening on Friday, if I knew where everything was going, and this is just for me personally, I didn't want to change anything that I'd be doing on Monday, because of something that was going to happen on Friday. So I took it a day at a time. I just took my scripts a day at a time, and I'd go home from work and I'd work on them at night and memorize my lines, and I'd come back the next day just completely, excited about what I had to do. But I never knew where it was going. I never knew what was going to happen at the end.
Right. I have a friend, and we go on YouTube quite a bit and watch old clips of Young and the Restless, and one of our favorites is actually the scene of you switching the babies, because it was it set in motion such a powerful storyline, and it was just so well done. A little drifting away from Young and the Restless, you did a cameo on 6 Feet Under, one of my other favorite shows. How did that come about?
Yeah. You know what? I got a call and asked if I'd be willing to go in and audition for 6 Feet Under, and I said, yeah, absolutely, and went in and got it, and it was fun. What I was really excited about, though, is the creator of 6 Feet Under, he had talked about, I really like this. This is something I could incorporate. I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do that. Coming up in the new season, and so on and so forth. And then, it just didn't happen. So, but it was fun to play. It was fun to play. I was honored to be in it and excited that I got chosen for the part. But, can I go back to the baby thing for a minute?
Yes, please.
Okay. You want to talk about one of the hardest scenes I ever had to do in my life? I had twins.
Uh-huh.
I had twins on the set. I had multiple babies on set, because when you work with children, you have to have twins or triplets, because kids are only allowed at that age, minutes, literally 20 minutes maybe a day to work. Well, anyone who's had a child, and especially if it's your first child, you know how difficult it is to change their clothes. And I literally had, X amount of time to get the clothes off of one baby and onto another baby and then redress the other baby.
Oh, wow.
And it was just, Ed Scott, he said, okay, what we're going to do, Kimberlin, is we're going to call, roll it, and he said, you just go and get the babies changed, and we're not going to cut the scene until you're done. And
you also fingerprinted them. If I remember, you took their you stamped the bottom of their feet, and I mean, they did the whole thing. They showed her really covering her tracks. It was such a great scene. It was so shocking at the time. I was in college at the time watching it at the student union of the university I was going to, and there were several people in the room watching it, and it was like, this story is about to go down, It was just one of those great moments, and everybody in the room was just equally excited about, like, oh, my God, I can't believe that just happened, and there was such an energy watching it with other people.
I was sweating bullets during that scene because we were running out of time. We lost one of the babies because they were too upset and crying, and so we had to do the whole thing. We literally did it, I think, in one take, and and I was so nervous because you don't want to, they're babies. You have to be gentle, and I'm trying to get them changed as fast as I can, and not only that, but remember in the scene I had to get them changed as fast as I could, so in case somebody walked in. It was a difficult scene to do. It really was, and then cutting the birthmark off the baby when that one came around, that was that's the only scene I had a problem with. And I actually said, are you guys kidding me? I said, I really have to cut the birthmark off this child. And Ed Scott called me and he said, Kimberlin, because I want you to kind of hang low for the next week or two, just stay at home. Don't go out too much. He said, because we're getting some pretty bad calls here, with people very upset with you for cutting the birthmark off the baby. And it's like, yeah, well, I'd be mad too. But that was a fun, interesting time. It was crazy. It was good. Thanks for
it was amazing. Well, thank you so much. It was such a great honor talking to you tonight. You really are one of my favorite characters ever on that show, and I've been watching for a long time. And like I said, they don't create characters like that anymore, unfortunately. So I was happy to be watching soaps when there was a devotion to telling stories and developing characters the way they did with yours. But I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, for sure.
Hey, thanks so much. And I can tell you that when the Bay starts shooting, like I said, the scripts that I received, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good.
Ooh. Awesome. Well, I look forward to watching you on that then.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. Well,
thanks, Chris. Thank you so much. You all have a great night.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, you all.
Bye-bye.
All right.
More callers.
Okay, we got, let's see here. We're going to take this last one right now because we're getting close to time. Jamel, go ahead. You're on with Kimberlin.
Oh, okay. Hi, Doug. Hi, Rob. Hi, Kimberlin.
Hey, Jamel.
Hi.
Hi. I'll just say, make it quick. Well, like the other callers, I have enjoyed your work too, and I was thinking that I think you possibly could go back to daytime, Bold and Beautiful, Young and the Restless, and because they've been, sort of going back in the history with Phyllis recently, and I was thinking that with you can come back and just sort of maybe repent for your sins, and we could sort of see the struggle, and you played the sort of temptation. I think that'd be interesting to watch, and you probably wouldn't be like the '90s, but you could be something different, a little. That way you can stay. Because right. I didn't like when they get you to come on for 6 months and then you go something where you can get on there. And you have family. I mean, she has children. She has history, so they can sort of incorporate you, and she can still be bad and she can still be sneaky because that's her nature. But it won't be as catastrophic. So I think that could be something.
Yeah.
That they should be interested in doing.
What if I were to come back with, Massimo's Millions?
Yes.
And the forces really wouldn't want to press charges against me because they need that money.
Yeah.
They thought that they had some Massimo before. I always thought it'd be interesting to come back as a powerful figure. I always hoped that one day I would come back as a powerful figure like Stephanie Forrester was. To be able to rub that in her face and to be in a position where she needed me for a change.
Yeah,
but,
I think,
I'm
finding
right now to that too.
Yeah, I think that I totally overlooked that part because I was thinking about how actors like you get into these storylines that are so deep and so draining. I remember Joshua Jackson General Hospital. He left that role because his son died and his father killed his son. I mean, it was so dark he had to leave, and you was doing it. So I'm thinking, of course, why not come back with, a breath of fresh air? She went to a different country. Somebody, she was beautiful.
Do you remember I had Massimo's baby, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, and he's going off the canvas.
So,
yes.
Yeah, Sheila's got a lot of kids floating around.
Massimo actually had the funds and the whereabouts to hide me.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was going to say too one last thing too is that I liked the promos back then. That for me, that's what got me into it. You and Stephanie. The battle, and you had the promos. Who's what was it? The battle to the death. Who's going to win this week? And you had to.
They did that with Tracy too. They had them them talking to each other and in the promos. That was awesome.
Yes. The two ladies with the fans and their hair and all of it. The promo, even with NBC. The big thing for them was who's the baby daddy for Sam. It was better promos back then, and just to get us hyped up about the week.
Do you remember the promo? Do you remember the promo of me crawling up the car in the rain and beating on the windshield with Tracy inside the car?
Yes. Yeah, I never forgot that.
Wow.
That was The Hand That Rocked the Cradle. All that whole stuff. Mm-hmm. That was.
And the one with you cutting up the puzzle pieces too with Tracy, Brad, and Lauren when they were sleeping together, and you're like, "Ooh, Lauren, what do I have in store for you?" Kind of thing.
Right.
Right.
Well, I just think that you're a brilliant actress, and I think that all the characters you've portrayed, even on the ABC and other ones, it's been interesting. It's not been something be like, "Oh, well, she's not playing." This villainous. You're able to go and sort of take the audience with you, and we don't feel like we're missing out, because when you was on Port Charles, it was wonderful too. It wasn't Sheila, but it was different. It was still you're just a wonderful actress. So we don't feel neglected when we invest in you. So I hope that they.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I can't believe I'm talking to you. I can't believe it. Oh, I can't believe it. But anyway, I'll let y'all go and thank you. And I think another thing, I'm going to let you go. I think you should do audio book because you're so soothing. The way you talk, it sounds like, right? She sounds like Sheila, but this is the real woman, but so soothing. So
Ian Buchanan, too. I don't think they could do one together.
They should, yes. Yes.
That would be fun.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamel.
Thank you.
Okay.
We have one more caller. He kept getting disconnected. So, Isaac, are you there?
Okay.
Hello.
Isaac?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Kimberlin.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I just found an agent for my acting career, and I'd like to know if you have any advices for new actors that want to audition for film and movies, TV series.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advices for new actors that want to prepare for auditions?
be very, very well prepared. I know the material inside and out. Even if it's a cold reading, I recommend memorizing it and go in with a performance. Of course, you're still going to hold the script in your hand because it's a reading, and you want to be able to go down to that should you need to. But it's that reading that gets you the job. So you just have to make it your own and try to bring something special to that they're going to remember you by, because they're going to see a lot of people for the same exact part, and you have to stand out above the rest. So, and a lot of auditioning for movies, for television, for anything, they have in their mind an idea of what they're looking for before you ever walk through the door. So you could also walk through the door and give a brilliant reading, but you're simply not what they're looking for at that time. It's much like myself with the part of Sheila. I auditioned for the part of Cassandra Rawlings. I screen tested for the part of Cassandra Rawlings. I didn't get that part, but you know what? They remembered me and brought me back for a part that they thought that I was right for. So you can't take anything personally, because the person that tells you no today might be the person calling you to give you a job tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Great advice.
Good advice.
And is it okay for actors to suggest storylines? Because I was told that you need to wait until they want Sheila back. But would it be okay for you to write to the new team at Y&R and suggest a storyline to them?
You know what? You could. Anybody else could. For me, I don't feel comfortable doing that because that's not my job.
Right.
My job is to create and to work with what is handed me. And maybe things have changed now, but I know that when Bill was there, he really didn't. He wanted actors to act. He wanted writers to write. He wanted producers to produce. And everybody, would come together with a really great project at the end of the day. But when actors started telling writers what to do, and when actors start telling producers what to do, actors are usually written off the show. So,
I see.
What, as an actor, you do what you're hired to do. Now, if you yourself want to become a producer, become a director, become an actor director, an actor producer, there are a lot of them out there. But did they start as producers? Very few. Very, very few. The ones who become producers and directors are generally the ones who've been in the industry for years.
Okay, we actually have to wrap things up. We only have 2 minutes left on air, so.
Yeah,
okay.
Thanks so much, Isaac.
Just a very last thing. I know that my opinion is not very popular, but I'm still convinced that Sheila truly did have surgery to look like Phyllis, and that she got shot.
No, we all believe that the real Sheila's alive.
But you know what? It doesn't mean that Sheila died. Maybe she's in a coma. Maybe Sheila survived and.
That wasn't her. That wasn't her, Phyllis. That was Sugar.
No. Well, but what I'm saying is that maybe Lauren truly did shoot the real Sheila, but maybe Sheila, survived and was in a coma, and maybe she woke up from that coma. You know what I mean? That's a possibility.
Anything's possible. Anything could happen. You never know. Maybe I'll get lucky and you guys will see me back there again one day.
We will do our best.
So thank you very much for taking my.
Right.
You're welcome. It's okay. We can. It'll still keep recording. A few more extra minutes. Anyway, I just want to first off, you made a dream come true. When I created this last year, it was solely based on having fans of soaps to get together and talk about saving soaps and showing that soaps matter. And then I thought, well, there's some other shows out there that invite people. Let me see if I can invite people. So I did, and we've had 150 guests, and we hit 1.7 million listeners last week, and we're showing, and people are listening because Angelica McDaniel from CBS Daytime listens to our show, and so we're in there. We may be a small fraction, but we're doing our part to help save daytime.
That's right.
Oh, you guys, thank you for that, because
and our Ashley campaign is working. We think we have reason to believe that it might be working. So our next campaign is going to be bring Sheila back.
You know what? I'd be happy to go back, you guys, if you can make it happen. That would be a dream come true. It really would.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for having me on your show. You guys are just great. I'd love to come back again sometime.
All right. Well, when your upcoming projects are ready to be talked about, we'll have you back to help promote them.
Okay, sounds great.
Well, enjoy the skiing, and real quick, how are the kids doing? By the way,
the kids are great.
Oh.
Nicholas is he's 14 now. My daughter just had her birthday yesterday. She's 19.
Oh,
and,
my goodness.
I know, they grow up fast, don't they?
Wow.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Well,
they're beautiful kids. So.
You keep on doing what you do, and we're going to keep on doing what we do, and we will be in touch again. Thank you so much, Kimberlin, for spending Friday night with us.
Thank you, Kimberlin.
Hey, you know what? I'm happy to. I'll talk to you guys again.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, hon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, nobody can hear us unless you're on the phone with us right now, so you'll have to hear this on the afterplay. What a surprise that was today. What did you think about that?
I was pretty psyched when I checked my multiple, whatever communications online and saw that, and I was like, oh, wow, cool. What a surprise.
Exactly. I mean, I have been waiting. I mean, I seriously could just shut forever now, because that was the interview I have been waiting for the whole year. There's two people I've been waiting to talk to, and this is the one that I wanted more than anything. And so it was just phenomenal to be with. And she's so not Sheila, so it's so she's so calm and collected and stuff. So she's got a sweet sound to her, and it's so good to hear her voice.
It's amazing, how with such loyal fans she has. I mean, more callers lined up. It was amazing. CBS really needs to know about that.
Yeah. Well, we're now more than ever we're gonna do our best to get her back on daytime somewhere, some way. We're gonna get her back on daytime, because we do need to see her on our televisions. But definitely check out The Necklace. It is not available yet, but you can go to thenecklace-themovie.com to get information about that and see if it's playing in a film festival near you. And then hopefully it'll be available for download or streaming or something in the future. And then also you can check out www.5hourfriends.com. So it's 5hourfriends.com to get all the latest information about her feature film, where she says there's a little snark of Sheila in that. So I cannot wait to see that as well. And of course, definitely check out The Bay. The series is going to be starting its, I believe it's second season very soon, apparently, and she is in that as well. So I'm very excited to catch her on that. So thanks, everybody, for listening. This was a impromptu, last minute. I've been working on this behind the scenes for so long, and as she said, can we do it tonight? I was like, of course. I'm not going to say no. So it was truly an honor. Let me just share the story real quick. In 2005, I was working at Apple, and the actor John Enos the third, who played Bobby Marcino, came into my store. And I went downstairs and asked him if I could help him. I said, I just want to let you know I'm a huge fan of the show. I've been watching for X amount of years. And at that time, Bobby Marcino and Brittany were really the storyline was where she was stripping out at the strip joint, and she was just getting ready to get electrocuted on the strip pole. And he's like, oh, well, hey, anytime you want to come down to CBS, I'll give you a tour of the set and behind the scenes. And I was like, oh my God, yes. So I at that time my son was there for the summer with me, and this was in 2005. So we went, and we got our press pass, me and my son, and we went and we got to walk through the whole set of Young and the Restless. I got to sit in the athletic club at the bar, and I got to see Captain Chancellor's set, and I got to see the Crimson Light set. There was different scenes being filmed at the time, and we just got to sit there behind the directors, behind the camera, and everything. And then we got to see makeup and hair, and we got to see wardrobe. It was just phenomenal. Well, then that same year, later in the summer, there was the biannual Young Restless fan event. Well, I got tickets for that immediately because I was living in Los Angeles. Sheila was going to be there. Kimberlin Brown was going to be there. I was like, oh my God, I got to go. I don't care care who else is there, but I got to get in line to see and get her autograph. So I met like the whole cast that was there, which is pretty much all the people that are still on there now, and plus some people that are not longer there anymore. Well, when I got to Kimberlin's table, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to throw up right in front of her. I know I'm just going to be like, I was just a nervous wreck. And she looks at me and she says, honey, don't be scared. And she arched her eye, and then in her Sheila way, she goes, I'm not going to hurt you. And I just was like, oh my God, I just busted out laughing. I was just like, oh my God, I love you so much. And then we talked for a few minutes. I got to sit next to her, and her boy he's not a boy, the young man that played Scotty was there as well. And I got to meet him, and it was during that whole time where Sheila had just came back to Young and the Restless after 10 years being gone. So that was she already knows the story because I told her that on the show that she was on before at Olivia Wilde. But I just wanted to share that with everybody, that I got a chance to meet her in person, and now to spend an hour and a half with her. So we only agreed to an hour, and she stayed an extra half hour to take all your fan calls. So that is amazing. And we made her night by playing those clips. Thanks to Rob for setting that up. And very, very exciting. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll be back on Sunday for the weekend review for soaps. Scotia, Rob, and I will be back 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Then Monday we have Trisha Cast, who plays Nina Webster on Young and the Restless, and her husband, singer Bat McGrath. We'll be playing some tunes from his brand new album, New Reverb, and catching up with Trisha and learning all about Bat's music. Tuesday, we have Greg Baird, who is a national educator and lecturer on LGBTQ seminars that he goes around to different schools, and we'll be talking about this tour that he's going to be working on with some celebrities that come into a college or a university near you. Wednesday, we have Ryan Carnes. I just booked him today. Ryan Carnes, many may remember him on General Hospital, and he was also in Desperate Housewives the first season. He was the boyfriend of Bree Vandekamp's son, Andrew, and he was also in the film, the gay film called Eating Out. He was in the first one of those. He's got a lot of different he's got a lot of different projects as well, so we'll be talking with him as well. And also,
if it was a lesbian film, that would be a really funny name.
and then also I just booked today Joshua Morrow. He is one I've been wanting to talk to for a long, long time. He'll be with us on the February 12th at 10 p.m. Eastern, so it's going to be another late show that day. So Nicholas Newman is finally coming to On Air with Douglas and Rob.
Yes.
So,
and we won't be random citizens anymore.
Yeah, he's probably like, God, I'm going to do this show, so they'll leave me alone. But I mean, he's just, this is 19th year on Young and the Restless, and I just want to celebrate his career, talk about his, his time on daytime, even talk about his boy band 3D back in the day, and what it's like working with Steve Burton now, who just premiered this week on the show as well. So it's lots of good stuff we'll be talking about that night. So
I'm actually liking him so far, believe it or not. People are all, Steve Burton, but I'm actually enjoying it.
Yeah, I am too. I was able to actually catch it live today, so I was glad to see it. Okay, well, we're done. I'm ready to go get down from my high. So we'll be back on Sunday night, and
Sunday
then
when I get to talk about like 3 out of the 4 shows. So get prepared to hear me.
Yes, and also you can follow Rob on Twitter at RobAnthonyD, And you can follow me, the show, at On Air with Doug. So thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back on Sunday. Good night, Rob.
Good night.
For a full archive of past shows and the upcoming schedule, check out onairwithdouglas.com. If you need help getting promotion out to our thousands of listeners, contact us at onairwithdouglas@gmail.com for more information. And be sure to check out our new weekly topical show, Sunday nights. Until next time, thanks for listening to our show.